I hate to be the bearer of bad news and just speak the truth, but most likely, Prismatic Evolutions will never be MSRP again. That might sound crazy to say, but if you actually see what is going on, you actually see Prismatic Evolutions as a set, and you compare it to a set like 151, it is pretty obvious that as it seems that it is basically impossible for it to go back to MSRP. And if you are one of those people that will not pay a single dime above MSRP, most likely you'll never buy Prismatic Evolutions ever again if that's your mindset. And that's just honestly how it seems. I mean, it's possible by, some just other universe it seems that Prismatic Evolutions gets printed into the ground. Maybe there's that 0.001% chance that this goes MSRP or below. But as of right now, the prices of the cards and the scarcity of Prismatic in this market, it seems pretty impossible. And especially now that Prismatic Evolutions, we're over the time of the, super, I guess, just oversaturated market of Prismatic Evolution is just people flooding the market with Prismatic products because people were getting them from pre-orders, people were getting them from Walmart, Target, scalping them. We're over that period, guys. I mean, if you were even able to find Prismatic Evolutions on release day, have you found any since then at any store? Like, I feel like it's basically at this point, it's like a lot of the products are gone. I've even heard some people saying that their Targets and Walmarts, after I guess restocking Prismatic that one day, they're not going to do it even anymore. So, you know, I just, the whole period of that is over, and we are already starting to see prices move up. Like, basically, almost every single product now that's been released that has dropped on release has gone back up. Some products even higher than what they dropped on release. And you know, I don't know when this reprint of Prismatic Evolutions is going to happen. When Pokemon made that statement, whenever that supply drops, which who knows when it's going to be, right? I think by the time when that comes, Prismatic Evolutions products are going to be so expensive that it's. I mean, the drop there might be some, but it's going to be very minuscule. And I think a lot of people forget about a lot of the other factors why, other than just this demand we have for Prismatic, why these prices most likely won't go down. A big thing is distributors. When reprints come, when these new products, when these new releases come, you will have that slim chance getting them in person at retail stores like Walmart, Target, where they won't upcharge you, right? But people forget that stores that do get these, reprints for Prismatic, we get these new products, who is selling at MSRP? Basically nobody. Why? Because these stores, some of them aren't getting much. On these new releases, they're not getting a lot. But other than that, the reprinted products, these distributors mark them up. So these stores will not be able to sell them at MSRP because they'll just lose money. So I think people really don't understand that, especially a lot of these people that just collect and don't understand kind of, I guess, that part of this whole business is that, for reprints, these distributors, they can upcharge and they do it. I mean, we've heard people like recently, these, card stores having to pay 90 to $100 for a Prismatic ETB, and that's with these prices. Imagine what those prices are going to be like when they get reprinted, when Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer Box, theoretically, let's say they hit $150, $200. What are those distributors going to charge stores? Just think about it. This whole system, yeah, it's a bit flawed, you could say, because these, distributors are allowed to do it, but that's why these prices will most likely never hit MSRP again. It's because distributors is a big reason, and it just doesn't seem like it's even possible that the amount of supply, even if they do drop them at retail, it's going to get bought up so quickly, and we've seen evidence of that. So let's just go through some of the Prismatic Evolutions products, seeing how they're rebounding, look at the price of the cards, look at the set value, and compare it to 151, because I think 151 is, in my opinion, a perfect example of how Prismatic Evolutions might be. So let's just look at the products and then get to 151. So Prismatic Evolutions ETBs are now officially, as of recording this, above $130. So you can see here it's 126 plus $7. That's 133. This is the lowest listed. Obviously, When you watch this, maybe there's a few listings under, I don't know, but as of recording this, it has officially gone above $130. And if you actually check this graph here, you can see on release day, which was right here, they dropped to around 120. So this is now officially higher than what it dropped to on release day. And this is only 1 month after release of Prismatic Evolutions. Think about what this price is going to be in a couple months from now, because there's not this huge supply we got in the first few weeks after release, because all these scalpers, people getting their pre-orders, flipping this. Imagine the scarcity of Prismatic in a few months from now, because I don't think that reprint is probably coming in a few months. Yeah, we're going to get those booster bundles in like a month here or so, but will that do anything to the prices of Prismatic Evolutions? Most likely not, as it seems. Those other products we got, the surprise boxes, the mini tints, those didn't have as many packs as the booster bundles will, but those did absolutely nothing to the price of the other Prismatic products. And I believe booster bundles, they're not going to really affect it much. I feel like at this point in the market, I don't think there's going to be many stores out there selling Prismatic Evolutions for MSRP. I believe, especially online, there's probably going to be like 0 stores. Maybe in person you'll find maybe an LGS or something, maybe that's selling them at MSRP, but even that is probably going to be so hard to find, because it's like, who would sell Prismatic Evolutions right now at MSRP? It'll get bought up in an instant. They'll have no product. I don't think many stores are going to do it, and that's another thing. So yeah, I just don't see Prismatic Evolutions, these new products really doing much, because people will just charge the market for them, and because they sell. So yeah, Prismatic ETBs are now above $130, and look at the sales volume. It's still pretty strong. I mean, still above 100 ETBs are selling every single day at these prices. So there's still a lot of demand for the set, obviously. Now the binder collections is interesting. These ones at one point got to about $80. They are pretty close to there. You can see the cheapest one right now is $73. It quickly goes to around 75 and 80. So you can see here, this is the cheapest listing as we're recording this. It goes up to 75 pretty quickly. You can see one day here, actually, the day I'm recording this, about 100 boxes sold. There's been a big influx. I don't exactly know why, but there have been maybe a couple of sellers that had them for a pretty cheap price, maybe under market. So you can see about 100 boxes sold, and look at where we're at now. They're about pretty much $75. You go to the next page and you can see here the supply, it quickly goes to $80. And yeah, just these look like they're going to retrace back to what they were at their peak. I'm telling you, this was sort of predictable. Hopefully, this is why I didn't want to recommend you guys buy when prices dipped for Prismatic, but it was so obvious that when prices dropped that it was going to go back up. I know a lot of people still have the mindset of not wanting to pay, above MSRP, but like I said, if you really had that mindset, you'll most likely never buy Prismatic again. And yeah, that's just honestly how I feel, because I don't think it's going to happen, and everything is rebounding so quickly. I feel like this was predictable, but hey, maybe it's just me. But yeah, these going to hit what they were at before, seemingly pretty soon. Now, even the poster collections are almost $40. Poster collections, out of all the collection boxes, they seem to be the worst performers. If you look at even 151, they don't perform that well, but these ones are almost $40, and they peaked, I think, at what, 45? So there's still a little bit of ways, to get there, but still, they did drop all the way into like the low 30s at some point. But these are like $37. But this is not the best product out there. Next, the surprise boxes. These dropped all the way to around like, you could also get them on eBay for under $60. But now they're back to $70, and this product has only been released for what, like a couple weeks. So yeah, give it a couple more weeks. Wait till it's a month old. I think these will probably be near the high 70s, maybe even in the 80s. And the promos are still holding up pretty well. The stamp promos, I think the Umbreon, might be over $80. Other promos are going for $25-$30 in the sealed plastic. So yeah, if you do the math on that, this is not a terrible price. This is sort of like market, because price per pack now is like $13. So 13 times 4 is what? 13 times 4 is 52. Add like 25. It's still pretty much this market. So I guess it's not too expensive. It's kind of, honestly, you can find some of these for a deal, maybe around $60. I think it's actually a good buy. But yeah, surprise boxes, I think will perform pretty well here in the next couple of weeks. There's still supply, I guess, from the initial drop, but give it a few weeks, give it a month, It's going to be higher than now. That's all I can say. And this is a big part people do not understand when people say, don't worry, guys, wait for this reprint. It's all going to go back to MSRP. Look at the set value. Look at what you can pull. Tell me how you think this is going to go to MSRP. The only way, I will say this, that this can go to MSRP, the only way is if this set value crashes. I mean, it has to crash by like 75%. Because think about it. If this even goes and crashes 50%, okay, which is crazy, that would be like $4,000 of set value. That's pretty much as expensive as Evolving Skies. 50%. You know how crazy that is to see that drop? Most likely it's probably not going to happen. I mean, have we ever seen a 50% drop in a set this strong? I can't think of one. So for that to even happen, the set value would still be like 4K. I could then maybe see it going to MSRP, maybe, but 4,000, like I said, that's like Evolving Skies. So this whole ideology and just maybe thought and just positive thinking that this will go to MSRP, this set value needs to absolutely crash because it wouldn't make sense for an Elite Trainer box to be $50 and to have this set value. It doesn't make sense. And that's why when prices dropped for Prismatic, ETBs went to 100, all these other products dropped, I didn't want to tell you guys to buy, but it was so obviously undervalued. And we're seeing this extreme rebound. Think about it. If you bought those ETBs at $100, what are they at now? 130, a 30% gain in what, a few weeks? This stuff was obvious to me, but I'm still not going to recommend you guys buying it, but it's going to keep going up. It's just simple. When you look at the price of the cards, you look at the set value. You know what is in this set. Master Balls, God Packs, Demigod Packs, all these different things. It was so obvious things were underpriced when it dropped, but I guess, I don't know. I didn't want to recommend, like I said, but that's just me, and prices are going up. So that's just my thoughts why Prismatic is just not going to drop to MSRP. There's so many factors why it won't, and I feel like the chance it does go to MSRP is literally like 0.001%. And a big example of this, and of why Prismatic is probably not going to go to MSRP, look at 151, okay? 151. It hasn't had official reprints, you could say, but it had so many restocks at retail stores for MSRP. And recently, we've gotten some products. We've gotten these Blooming Waters collection boxes. I remember when this got announced, so many people were excited to get this at MSRP, right guys? How many people got it? Very little. Some people got some, but you probably had to fight somebody at Costco to get it, okay? This stuff, I mean, look at all the card stores that got them. Who charged MSRP? 1% of the stores? Nobody did it. Why? Because who would do that when they know it's going to sell instantly if they sell it at market, or not at market, if they sell it at MSRP, and if they just list it at market, somebody will buy it. Tell me one store that wouldn't do that, that wouldn't charge market. It doesn't seem very smart in this market to just charge MSRP. It sounds good on paper. You are going to be, I guess, celebrated by the collectors. But as a business, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And a lot of these stores probably aren't getting that much of this product. So all these factors, and we have evidence from 151, Prismatic, the chances it goes to MSRP is very minimal. And just Blooming Waters is a perfect example of that. All these other products come in the future that people think will cause Prismatic Evolution prices to crash. Take 151 as an example. This is a very relevant example. I know a lot of people like to go back to Sword and Shield, talk about Crown Zenith, Shining Fates. That's irrelevant. You got to think about the time those sets were released and also the sets themselves. 151 is a lot better of a comparison than Crown Zenith and Shining Fates because it's more relevant. It's in the Scarlet and Violet era. It's a pretty comparable set to Prismatic. I think Prismatic's better, but obviously that's a hot take, whatever. But yeah, this is a way better example. And seeing from 151 Prismatic, it doesn't look very good that it's going to go to MSRP. And even recently, didn't we get some GameStop booster bundle restocks or something? That did absolutely nothing. I know some people got a couple, but yeah, I mean that did nothing. And yeah, even booster bundles you were able to find at Targets, Walmarts. A few months ago, I remember there was a lot of restocks of these. I mean, did something to the price. I think here was the drop. I think this was when they got restocked. It dropped a little bit. You can see here, it dropped like $10. But look how quickly things rebounded. I mean, it was pretty instantaneous. Like, look at this. So yeah. Next is ETBs. Now, what's very interesting about ETBs, at least for 151, they never really got reprinted. They showed up at Costco. I remember, it's crazy. I remember going to Costco and they had these bundles. I never bought it because at the time, see, it's all perspective. You guys gotta understand, at the time, like I remember there was Crown Zenith and 151 bundles at Costco with like a tin. I saw these 151 ETBs, but I didn't buy them. Why? Because at the time it wasn't this crazy. So I had the chance to buy them. I think the bundles were like, I forget, was it 70, 80 bucks? I don't remember. I didn't buy any. I wish I did, obviously, because guys, this is a normal ETB. You want to call Prismatic expensive? 151 is $200 a normally trainer box. A normal one. That's insane. But everyone said Prismatic at 100 was too expensive when it dropped. It's crazy. It's all perspective and all time, but yeah, I'm telling you, time will change everything. When Prismatic gets older, people will adjust to it because you don't see people calling 151 absolutely overpriced, scalped, insane, right? But normal ETBs are 200 bucks. I know it's a little bit older. I know it's over a year old, but I mean, for a normal ETB, for 151, I think that's pretty expensive. Next, binder collections. See, this is a very interesting one. A big reason why I believe this is this expensive is because I don't think these got restocked. I think for those restocks at Walmart stuff, there were like Zapdos boxes, which I'm going to show you guys here next. There were Zapdos boxes, booster bundles, poster collections, like those types of things. But I don't think these really ever got restocked. And binders, I mean, this is a functional product, and people would like them for like a master set or to collect just in general. These are 150 bucks. And this only has 4 packs. The Prismatic one has 5 packs. So, yeah, these are $150. It's insane. But you got to think about it. This is a product that has functionality. It has a binder. People are going to want it, right? So it's pretty collectible. I assume and I think Prismatic Evolutions binders will do something maybe not as crazy. I don't really know. But I think just how this looks, I think it's a pretty good product. That's just my take. Maybe a little bit hint for you guys. But binder collections for 151 are 150 bucks. And they actually do sell. So pretty crazy. Next, poster collections. These also got restocked, like I said, like a few months ago with all the other 151 products. These, you can see, are just as expensive as, Prismatic Evolutions poster collections, which is why I told you guys poster collections really aren't that premium of a product. People don't really care too much about the posters. I don't know what it is. This collection box isn't very popular. And you can see here, all the other 151 products were more expensive than the Prismatic ones, except for the poster, because these aren't that sought after. Maybe the Prismatic one will be a different case, but looking at 151, which is, I think a somewhat comparable set, these don't do that well. So if I were to give you guys, I guess this is kind of off the course, a recommendation, will probably be one of the last products I would buy. I think they're cool. Like, I have some, but I don't have many of these, to be honest with you guys. They're all right. You can find them for a good price, but the growth on these don't seem to be very high. Next, the Zapdos EX collection. These ones got restocked as well during the whole time. These are like 50 bucks. So pretty expensive for a collection box. And look at 151. If 151 products, even after all those restocks and whatever, look at how expensive those products are right now. And look at the set value. I know 151 pull rates are a little bit easier. Yeah, it's a little bit more fun to open than maybe Prismatic, whatever. Prismatic Evolution set value is over 5 times 151. The top chase card is $1,300 more than 151. And you want to tell me that Prismatic Evolutions is going to go to MSRP? 151 after all those restocks, new products, didn't happen. Prismatic, maybe they print this into the ground. Maybe it's a Crown Zenith situation. But as this arrow looks, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Yeah, they'll reprint it, sure. But will it get to the point of MSRP? I don't think so. So, like I said, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's so many people in this space. Honestly, I can tell people are new because they weren't here around for 151 when it was readily available, and now that it's expensive and stuff and hard to find. Like, when you were there a few years ago and you knew how things were different and you're here now, things have changed very much with reprinting and stuff. And people that just automatically compare to, to Sword and Shield sets and Crown Zeniths and stuff, look at 151. I mean, if this is any indicator, I'm telling you, saying that Prismatic is going to go to MSRP is absolutely crazy. But like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Prismatic is the set they print in the ground. Maybe 151 is a different story. Maybe. But I'm basing all of this off of 151 and how Pokemon has reprinted stuff in Scarlet and Violet. It seems like things have changed. And I understand a lot of people that are mad about these prices are going to say that I'm wrong, are going to say that it's going to happen because of all the Sword and Shield sets and stuff. And they're going to say I'm just saying all this because I have a bunch of Prismatic, whatever. Honestly, I'm not here to lie to you guys. Because there's so many people now, I feel like a lot of new people that give so much misinformation, so much stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'm here trying to be realistic and give you guys some evidence, some things to think about, and give you guys my reasonings why I believe this. So I'm not trying to say this. Obviously, I have a lot invested in Prismatic. I've told you guys, right? Yes, you could say this is a conflict of interest because I have a lot into it. Obviously, I'm not going to talk down on it because I bought it because I believe in it, right? But that's why I did it. People have this idea that I will just buy something and just talk about it on my small channel to pump up my own product. I think you guys severely underestimate how small my channel is and how little effect I have on this market. Why would I spend thousands of dollars on my own money to just talk about it on my channel? Why would I do that, right? So I do actually believe in this stuff. I do actually believe Prismatic Evolutions has a very high ceiling. I do believe what I say with I don't think this is going to go down to MSRP, which is why I've spent thousands of dollars on Prismatic Evolutions above MSRP, because this whole MSRP talk and crash thing with Prismatic, I don't believe in it. That's just me. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I feel like that's just the reality of the situation. But not many people out there will want to say it because there's so much just drama and anger right now about prices. If you talk about anything like that, you will get torn down for it. But I'm just speaking my opinion and based on what I see. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So, man, this is a 22-minute long video. I did not expect to talk this long, but hopefully, guys, I guess enjoy listening to this and hearing my perspective. But I seriously think if you think Prismatic Evolutions will go down to MSRP, I don't believe in it. That's all I will say. So yeah, that's the end of this video. If you watched all the way to this end of this video and you didn't skip and you watched everything, comment down below. Vapor Self. I don't even know. Comment down something with Vapor Self with Prismatic. Make up something. I don't even know. But yeah, long video, but I wanted to say a lot because I feel like this whole thing with Prismatic going to MSRP is a bit delusional. I'm not going to lie to you guys based on the facts here. But yeah, that's all I want to say today. Hope you guys enjoyed this long video. Maybe put it down, this video in the background of you doing something. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.